and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Thought I'd do something a little different today. Instead of being always in the room, I thought I'd do it in the car instead. So I hope you all are well today. So my final thoughts on Trevor Bryan versus Daniel DuBois for WBA regular heavyweight championship of the world. I'm not going to talk about the belt again. I think I've gone over it enough times. So the fight itself, loads of things are going through my head. The general consensus are people I think are saying that Daniel DuBois is just going to go out there and knock out Trevor Bryan. Just like he's going to walk out there, bang, bang, and he could catch Bryan. He could knock Bryan out early. He could. It's very possible. It's heavyweight boxing. I ain't not so sure of that. Okay. There's a few things. Let's talk about Trevor Bryan. There's a few things I believe that Trevor Bryan has got to do to win this fight. Good afternoon, Cameron. The few things that Trevor Bryan has got to do for this fight. First and foremost, Trevor Bryan has got an excellent left jab. We've heard it enough times. STACEY McKinley gave us the insight on it, talked to us about Larry Holmes working in camp with Trevor Bryan. And I thought to myself, I'm thinking to myself, the jab is the key. If you can get the jab going against Daniel DuBois, that's going to be key. That jab has got to be in DuBois' face from round one. He's got to keep DuBois, because DuBois needs space. He's one of these guys that for him to generate power, momentum's got to be coming forward. So the jab is going to be key for Bryan. He's going to keep that jab in DuBois' face from round one. Secondly, Bryan has got to be in shape. I know they're saying he's lost some weight and stuff, but he's got to be in shape. When you talk about heavyweight boxing and you constantly talk about a guy's weight, that's a problem. That's an issue for me. Not because people think, because he's heavyweight, he doesn't have to weigh. There's optimum weight in boxing. There's optimum weight in heavyweight boxing. You're coming too heavy, you're slow, you're sluggish, you're there to be hit. And we all know already, just like the Anthony Joshua fight of Alexander Usyk, we knew that if Joshua decided to box Usyk being the far superior boxer, what was going to happen? Salute there, Yasser. We knew that was going to happen. If he decides to box with Usyk, we knew what was going to happen. Now, you see, the situation with this situation is with Trevor Bryan. If Trevor Bryan stands right in front of Daniel DuBois, just stands in front of him and does nothing, inactivity, he's going to get clipped one of them big shots. That's the problem right there. So Bryan, if he's standing in front of DuBois, he's got to tuck up tight, but he's also got to catch and shoot. He's got to catch and shoot. In other words, when DuBois is throwing these shots, he's got to catch and shoot. He's got to catch DuBois' best shot and fire back. Now, a lot of people talk about Daniel DuBois. Now, I've been talking about Daniel DuBois before the Joe Joyce fight, and that's why I was certain that Joe Joyce was going to beat him. Oh, he's a big puncher, he's this and that. I said, listen, if Joe Joyce gets that jab in DuBois' face, DuBois fought nobody, right? He's fought nobody. He always talk about, Trevor Bryan ain't fought anybody. But Daniel DuBois not fought anybody. He fought Joe Joyce, and Joe Joyce showed the difference between a boy and a man. And I said they were rushing DuBois into that fight. DuBois wasn't ready. Mentally, he wasn't ready. He has not improved. Now I would argue. You see, I would argue. I'm gonna say my points first, and then I'll come back to you afterwards. People talking about Joe Joyce's jab's better than Trevor Bryan's jab. Now, is this the same Joe Joyce that before the Daniel DuBois fight? Joe Joyce was slow as molasses, and he couldn't move, and he was so slow, and he was super slow, and DuBois was gonna blow him out. Now, Joe Joyce is like, he's got a jab like Muhammad Ali now. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay? Joe Joyce is a very good boxer, but I told you all that already. I called him the British George Foreman, and Uncle Bashir now is beginning to understand what I'm saying to him. He's like the British George Foreman. Foreman was not great to look at. He was sloppy at times, had an excellent jab. When Foreman get you against some ropes, that's where Foreman did his work. So that's what I believe is the case with Joe Joyce. When Joe Joyce gets you against them ropes, Joe Joyce, you don't want to be against the ropes, no matter who you are. Against the ropes with Joe Joyce, he'll pound on you and he can punch and he can take a good shot. Now, coming back to this fight with Trevor Bryan, yeah? Trevor Bryan needs to be in shape. Some of the history with heavyweights from America, like eating himself out the championship, Riddick Big Daddy Bowe. So Big Daddy Bowe's been in camp as well. And let me give you exclusive here. Riddick Big Daddy Bowe was in camp before Larry Holmes. Now, Stacey McKinney will say he's going to bring Riddick Bowe into camp. Riddick Bowe, arguably, in shape, disciplined, would have been a better heavyweight all round than Lennox Lewis. Right? You look at Riddick Bowe, excellent jab, good right hand, can fight up close, inside, can fight on the outside. Bowe was an exceptionally big man, yeah? He was a big man that could box and punch and had good combination punches. When you look at Riddick Bowe and you look at Lennox Lewis, you look at Bowe when he fought Holyfield the first time, the excitement of Riddick Bowe. Bowe ate himself out the heavyweight division. So I hope that Riddick Bowe has spoken to Trevor Bryan. I really hope he has. And I hope that all that talk that and is concerning. Trevor Bryan's doing a lot of talking. I hope that's not talk based on being scared. I hope that's not talk based on what other people are feeding him. I hope that's Trevor Bryan's own energy talking up a fight. And I hope that Trevor Bryan is as focused on his talking as he is on his boxing. I hope so. He's talking about Daniel DuBois being a boy and him being a man. What Bryant wants to be careful of is that the boy doesn't become a man. Because the boy becomes a man on the night, Bryant's got a problem. Because you're calling a man a boy, and you find that now he's got man strength. That's a problem. Because DuBois hits hard. How hard he hits, we still really don't know. Because who he's knocked out is who we expect him to knock out. And when you look at DuBois' resume, how many guys has he been in the ring with guys that you thought that could beat him? The one guy, Joe Joyce, and he did. He beat him. He beat him systematically. So, got to be very careful when we're calling people boys and men. Very, very careful with that. You know, Stacey McKinney can talk all he wants about Trevor Bryan. He's been talking about Trevor Bryan for a long time, right? The beautiful thing about this fight is I've got right insight about both fighters, the history of both fighters. Daniel DuBois. Now, I'll tell you again. Daniel DuBois in sparring. Daniel DuBois in sparring. He's sparred Vlad Tsarenko. He sparred with Povetkin. Now, Povetkin was busting DuBois up in sparring. He didn't want that work. When Povetkin was put on DuBois, he didn't want it. He busted him up really bad in sparring. There's a mentality there. So, at that point, when that was going on, I said to myself, if these reports, and there are more reports coming out of DuBois and sparring, right? If these reports are true, then when the heat gets on with DuBois, when the heat gets on and it gets too much for him, is he going to find a way out? Because if you look at the round before that, Joyce was started catching him with big shots. When the big shots from Joyce started landing, DuBois wasn't liking it. He was going back to the corner, puffing, panicking. Now, Shane McGuigan coming into camp now and he's training with McGuigan a year, that's fine. But he's fought nobody competitively. The fight he had in America when Tommy Fury stunk the joint out against that, I don't know, that guy, I can't remember his name, Anthony, whatever his name was, yeah? That night, DuBois put on a show. But I hope DuBois fans are watching carefully and go back and look at that fight. DuBois was wide open for counters. A lot of boxing fans don't look at openings. They don't look at things like that. What they look at is a knockout. He was wide open against a guy that nobody knew about. And the guy was throwing punches back. If it becomes a shootout and it's Bryant that's catching and shooting and throwing punches back at DuBois, does DuBois have the stomach for a real fight? Is DuBois ready for a real fight? Because the one fight he's had, what's happened? He's got beat. So we do know that when the punches start flying, what happens? We know what happens. We've seen what happens. Dubois loses. So if Bryan can keep behind a tight defense, use that jab, catch and shoot with Dubois, and put pressure on Dubois, we're going to see. We're going to see. So people thought he's going to come out and do a demolition job. It's only because people don't rate Bryan. Now, this could go one of two ways. If Bryan has done his work and he's trained hard and he's in shape and he gets that jab going, Dubois is going to have some problems tonight. He's going to have some problems tonight. When you know, it was always a case in America where they used to bring these British guys over and they'd cook them when they came to America. They cooked them because they did their research. They studied. They got the sparring in. They did what needs to be done to win the fights. This is not England now. This is America. And Dubois is still relatively inexperienced. How does he react to the crowd in America when they're booing him and he's coming to the ring? Yeah, he could be riled and you say he's going to come and do a demolition job. But there are levels to this sport. If Trevor Bryan is anywhere near the level I'm thinking he is, there's going to be no demolition job. If he's anywhere near the level I think he is, and he's in shape, now these are things I'm saying now. If he's in shape, right, he's following the game plan to box, it's a different situation. No, it's not. It's Ruben Guerrero who are blocked in the channel and has brought himself as somebody else now. So it's a case of whether Dubois, not Dubois, it's not about what Dubois does in this fight. It's about what the champion does, Trevor Bryan. It's not about Dubois. This fight is not about Dubois. British fans are saying Dubois is going to go over there and knock him over. It's like when people were talking about Canelo and Canelo's going to blast over Bivol. And I told everyone, you've not done your research. You've not done your research. It's because you don't know the guy. Doesn't mean the guy can't fight. There's in between you not taking the time to watch a guy and then a guy's actually good and you're not giving him credit. And that's what happened with Canelo fans. They thought Canelo was indestructible and nobody could beat him. But the fact of the matter is, Bivol was a better boxer. Always will be a better boxer than Canelo. But nobody want to listen to me. Nobody cared about what I had to say. Or anybody in the boxing business that knew who Bivol was. Knew it was coming. Knew it was coming. If you're having a problem with Kovalev with a jab, how the hell are you going to get past Bivol? I said it. If you can't get past a jab against Kovalev, then you've got a guy who's got a better jab than Kovalev and is going to put better combination together and is in shape and he's dedicated to the sport and he's hungry and he's a champion. No, bro. Not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. What happened to Eddie? What happened to the immediate rematch? What happened, bro? What happened? You screwed up another fighter's career yet again. Cheers, Eddie. So now you're going to go with ancient Golovkin. Anyway, let's get back to this fight. So it's down to what Trevor Bryan does. He needs to use a hard jab to start the fight off. You need to start the fight off with a hard jab. You use that jab, utilize that jab, and force Daniel DuBois back. All this stuff about what Shane McGuigan's done to improve him. You don't know if he's improved him or not, because ultimately, DuBois has to put it together. He has to put it together. And against a guy who wants to prove that he is better. So this isn't a Nathan Gorman type fight. Or, the guy who's come from middleweight up to heavyweight to fight. Or bloody, it's not one of them kind of fights. It's for the championship of the world. So, Bryan's unbeaten. I would not just write him off. Then again, I'm not contradicting myself. Dubois is young. He's hungry. Okay? So he can come forward and he can throw them bombs. But my concern is catch and shoot. I keep saying it. Catch and shoot. I wouldn't have stuck. I personally would not have stuck Dubois in with Bryan yet. I would like to see Dubois take a few more learning fights. And then fight Bryan. Because people don't... A guy is unbeaten. You never know how good an unbeaten fighter is until they're beaten. Will Bryan be able to back up everything Stacey says? Well, Stacey McKinley is an experienced trainer. They know what's in front of them. They know what's in front of them. And they're right. DuBois has got a trainer that don't know anything about heavyweight boxing. He doesn't. He doesn't. Well, you know, he didn't look good in his last fight. He did not look good in his fight. But stars make fights. That guy that Bryan fought, let's be honest, the guy that Bryan fought had no fear factor whatsoever. No fear factor. Some of these guys, they don't look good in the gym and they don't look good in good fights. Right? But when the big fight comes round, their eyes open up. Their eyes light up. Them kind of guys you got to be careful of. You have to leave room for big occasion, big nights. They're guys, we've seen them before. They look pretty. Look at Evander Holyfield when he fought Bobby Ches. Go and look at Evander Holyfield when he fought Bobby Ches, the night he fought Bobby Ches. The next fight he fought was Mike Tyson. And I remember people saying, Holyfield's washed up, he's finished, he's this, he's that. What, he didn't go and beat Mike Tyson afterwards? Stars make fights. So I you know what, kind of second, you know, hold on a second. Can I do something a second, please? Please allow me to do something a second. This guy here. Yeah, let me get this guy out of my room. He's an idiot. All right. So as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at it is this. Let me get back to this now. Stop talking. Sorry. All right. The way I look at it is this. It's going to be a case of whether. Yeah. I've seen those stats myself. And they're because of British fans. 10-1, 15-1. It's all right. Good evening. Good afternoon, Barry. I've seen those stats. But and odds. Look at the odds for Joshua versus Ruiz. Look at the odds for Joshua versus Usyk. Look at the odds for Canelo versus Bivol. Look at the odds. So the odds makers, the bookmakers, are not always right. You can make a lot of money. So I expect to see Dubois trying to come out and fight. I expect him to come out and fight. I expect to come flying out the traps to try and make a statement. But he's inexperienced, Daniel Dubois. I keep saying it, he's inexperienced. Like, he's knocked a bunch of guys out, but who are the guys he's knocked out? But again, if he knocks out Trevor Bryan tonight, people say, still, who's he knocked out? What people need to work out tonight, and that's why I don't know about Daniel Dubois. 2 questions. When it gets hot, if it gets hot, and you're in a fight, round 7, round 8, round 9, round 10, and the punching power's not there. You don't have the power to knock the guy over. The guy's taking your best shot. What do you have to offer? Everyone's talking about knockout job, demolition job. But what happens if Dubois doesn't knock the guy over? What happens if you don't knock him out? Can he box for 12 rounds? Can he box? Can he fight off the back foot? Can he come for a tough fight? What's he like when the punches start flying back? What happens if he gets jabbed in that eye again? All these questions. He's fighting away from home. But people are sure he's going to go there and blow him out of there. Not sure. I'm not sure. And I think before the fight, there'll be some fun and games before the fight. Don King Promotions. There'll be some fun and games before the fight. Shane McGuigan is not a heavyweight trainer. And you can get away with stuff in England. But when you come to America, it's a different situation. They've got Francis Warren with them over there. So Francis is a cool dude. He's got some experience. But again, you're dealing with Stacey McKinley, a 35 world champions. These things count. quality heavyweight trainer in Bryant's corner and a history of heavyweight boxing. So it's important that we respect it, and we don't just go out there thinking Dubois is going to trundle him over. We have to respect it. So anything can happen in this fight, quite literally. Dubois could go out there and sting Bryant, get caught shot early, and Dubois rushes in and gets him out of there. Similarly, Dubois can run in there throwing shots and get countered, caught himself. All right? So it could all go off. It could all go off Saturday night. I don't know what's what. I don't know what's what. So we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, two men are going to go in there, as you know, and they've both got a decision to make. So they've got to decide, for me, what's the game plan? Am I going to go out there as Dubois? Am I going to go out there and rush this guy? I think I'd knock him out because all my fans think I'm going to knock him out, so I'm going to go and rush it and knock him out. Or am I going to respect this guy? Because a guy hasn't looked good in previous fights doesn't mean that that's going to be the case. Do you understand? Let's see here. Bryant's very experienced sparring partner. He knows how to survive if it goes rounds. So, to me, I'm going 55-45 in favor of Bryant. As I think that if Dubois' punching power is all he's got, then that's all he's got. And that might be enough for the fight. But if Bryant's the fighter I think he is, then that won't be enough. Punching power. You have to be able to box. You have to be a fight off the back foot. You got to have a good defense. Has Dubois got a defense? Hell no. Can Dubois fight off the back foot? I don't think so. Dubois' jab, is it that good? What happens if Dubois starts backing up? So I know that Bryant's going to come in behind a tight defense. I know he's going to be using a jab. I know he's going to use catch and shoot. I know he's going to roll and use all those heavyweight things. So I don't Axel Schultz. That's now him again. Look at this clown. This guy's got about 20 accounts. But what I'm going to do is have him more fun. So you're seeing all the accounts come out tonight. So predictions, please. Who do you think is going to win this fight? I know a lot of people saying that Dubois is going to knock him out in the first couple of rounds. And if he does, congratulations. Well done to Daniel DuBois. This is the fight that Dillian Whyte should have been having, not Tyson Fury. Dillian Whyte should have been fighting Trevor Bryan. It's the same guy. Dubois mid-rounds, okay? It's the same guy. It's the same Ruben Guerrero. I'm not surprised if he comes back with Frank Warren, Shannon Briggs. Yeah, he's a clown, the guy. He's a proper clown. So, Dubois mid-rounds, okay? All right. Fair enough. I'm going 55-45. I don't have as much faith in Daniel Dubois that many people do. For me, Daniel Dubois is still a guy that I don't know enough about. I knew enough about to know that he wasn't going to beat Joe Joyce. And that punching power wasn't enough. Just too much will get... Let's see what it says here. Let me read this comment again. It says here, just too much will get right on top of him. The first round we did take the fight down. Uh, unbelievable that Trevor and my bad. That Trevor and Daniel Dubois might be next for Usyk. I'd say Daniel Dubois late though. Okay, Daniel Dubois late. Okay, Dubois 4 rounds. Barrier round. Okay. I think that Trevor Bryan's jab's going to key in this fight. I really do. I do. I do. Could be wrong, but I think Bryant's jab's going to be key in this fight. There's a saying, you've got a right hand, it'll take you around the corner. Give me a left jab, I'll take you around the world. So I believe who's got the best jab and the guy that can back the other guy up. So Dubois' best chance is to knock Bryant out early. That's what I think. And for me, Bryant's best jab is to stick behind. Best chance is to stick behind the jab, catch Dubois coming in, and let the young man shoot his load in the first half of the fight. And then from 6th round on, step up the gas and put the pressure on him. But make him pay every time he lands a shot. So every time he goes to land a shot and he makes a mistake, make him pay. Make him feel pain early. And make him understand that tonight's not your night, bro. That's what's got to happen. But if Trevor Bryan goes hiding behind a guard and stands in front of Dubois, he's getting knocked out, and he deserves to get knocked out. If Trevor Bryan has not trained for this fight, if Trevor Bryan is not in condition in this fight, if Trevor Bryan does not listen to STACEY McKinley in that corner, he deserves to get knocked out and deserves for that title to be taken off of him. But if he's done the work, he's done the training, he's had Larry Holmes in camp, he's had Riddick Bowe working with him, right? He understands, he's been well trained, well schooled. He's a well schooled heavyweight. It's just because people don't know of him. So he's a well-schooled heavyweight. So this is his opportunity. And let's hope that he's big time. Because if he's big time, then Dubois is in a lot of trouble tonight. If he's big time. If he's not big time, then Dubois is going to walk straight through him. So, STACEY, I hope you're out there. You're listening. I know you are. I hope your man's ready. I hope your man's trained. And I hope your man understands that this fight is your coming of age fight. Dubois can come again. You can get more experience. It's about you. This is your opportunity to be on the big platform. Everyone in the UK are watching you. The Americans are watching you. And it's important that you do a demolition job on Dubois. This is your opportunity. And if you do a demolition job on Dubois, a lot of these people will change their tune about you. But you allow Dubois to walk through you, then forget it, mate. Forget all of that. Forget all of that talk and I'm the dream. You're going to be dreaming. So you better get it right. Trevor Bryan is skilled, but his level of competition is questionable at age 32. I heard about age 32, but come on. You're reading a script as if you're talking about a middleweight boxer. You're reading a script as if you're talking of a lightweight boxer. You understand the history of heavyweight boxing. When did Lennox Lewis really come into his own? At 32. When did Lennox Lewis come into his own and was dominant as a heavyweight? 36, 37? 36, 37? When he was become a dominant heavyweight? He wasn't 32 when he was dominant. Emmanuel Stewart came in and started looking after Lennox Lewis. So, I don't know. Heavyweights get better as they get older. Heavyweights get better as they get older. So I don't lean into that when it comes to heavyweight boxing. I'm talking about middleweights now. You can read that script to middleweight of 32 years who's fought. The heavyweight division is very different. There's a lot of things you've got to consider with the heavyweight division. You've got to consider management and guiding your fight along the right path and picking the right fights at the right time. And also we've got to consider COVID. COVID messed up a lot of people's careers. COVID did a lot of damage. So that fights you would have had usually 2 years or a year and a half, COVID ripped the soul out of boxing. Right? So that's you got to take into consideration. Well, plus he's a Don King fighter. And those guys don't get to fight very often. You look at Stavern, he didn't fight much under Don King. Man should be fighting 3-4 times a year. I tell you this, man, why are you fighting once a year? You need to fight 3-4 times a year. So Don King fighters don't fight that much. They don't fight that often. Don't ask me why. They just don't. I don't know it's because Don can't afford to put the money together. He can't put the fights together. He hasn't got the connections. He can't. But I don't know what it is. I really don't. Afternoon, who you picking? I said 55-45 Bryant because I don't know enough about Dubois. I don't know enough positives about Daniel Dubois, and I can't say, well, because Shane McGuigan's working in camp with him, head moving and all stuff. I don't know. I have to see it. So I can't base it on that. So I'm basing it on what I know of Trevor Bryan, his experience, the jab he's got, and the experiences I've seen of Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce. Where are you heading in the car? I've actually come back. I haven't gone anywhere. I've just come back. Let's see what it says here. It says Trevor's likely would have fought Manuel Shah if not for the Don King stuff. Yeah, if he fought Manuel Shah and he got rid of Manuel Shah, it did something as well. So it's just, I don't know. I'm just going for what I do know of Trevor Bryan. And I don't know about Daniel Dubois because he's not been in any fights that told me anything apart from what I already knew. The things I knew about Daniel Dubois is that he would find a way out when he fought against a guy who started hitting him back. He did that. He found a way out. Just like I said in my report. Just like Joe Joyce said about him in the amateurs, he choked. So, is he a choker? Is he mentally weak? Or is he just a boy against a man, which I said then? Has Dubois become a man now? Don't know. Based on who he's fought, again, I think it's a gamble because I just don't know how good Dubois is. I know how good his level has been, and he got beat by Joe Joyce. So the first guy he fought that threw punches back at him, he lost. That's what I say about Daniel Dubois. That's it. So I can't really, that's my logic. I can't really say, well, Daniel Dubois is going to steamroll this guy. Should be on his way to pick me up. Booked Uber ages ago. Here we go. Here he is again. Another one. This is another one of his accounts. See, yes. See, I'll block him every time. I think Trevor isn't a pushover that people think. I know people think he's a pushover. But it's okay. These people have to understand, have to learn. So I don't think Trevor Bryant's a pushover at all. I think Trevor Bryant can fight. I think he's a very well-equipped heavyweight. I just need to see what he does against. See, Dubois is a name based on what? He's based on what? Knocking out Nathan Gorman. Is that what he's based on? Or knocking out a guy who came from middleweight? Or he's the guy that lost? He's the guy that lost. Did you say something about Uber to him? I'm not an Uber driver. I can't drive, so no Uber. Sorry about that. Fair enough. I see Dubois rolling through Bright 46 rounds. Also, Ingram, you said Joyce would give Fury problems. So if that is that good, Dubois shouldn't is that good. Dubois shouldn't be judged harshly on losing to him. No, he's not being judged harshly. It's the reality is, a lot of the same people that are in here today are the same people that said Dubois is going to blow through Joe Joyce. I said, no, not happening. I said, it could happen. Not happening. The Uber drivers are in the IFL comment section. Get it right. I'm just being honest. If I knew more about Daniel Dubois, if the stuff that I heard inspiring about Daniel Dubois wasn't like, I trust the people I talk to in terms of how a person does inspire, and the stuff I heard inspiring weren't good. And then saw him fight against Joe Joyce, and that's why I put the sparring stories that I heard in the back of my mind. I thought, yep, if this gets hot, this guy's gonna jack. So I'm trying to get those thoughts out of my head. I'm trying to get them thoughts out of my head. If I can get them thoughts out of my head, I'll have a positive view about Daniel DuBois. But at the moment, I see a boy in a man's body, and even him talking, like the way he talks. What do we really know about Trevor Bryan? It's not so much what you know about Trevor Bryan, it's his history of where he's been and who he's been trained with. Let me ask you a question. How much do you know about Shane McGuigan as a heavyweight trainer? You've got Trevor Bryan in there in the heavyweight factory. He's training with so many different heavyweights there. Are you doing live commentary for the fight, or are you going to do a post-fight reaction? Probably do a post-fight reaction. I'm tired. I don't know if you all are watching the YouTube channel and you're watching the other playlists, but I'm very tired. Very tired. So I would like to do thing for it, but probably not. I'll probably do a post-fight for it though. Yeah, we don't know much about. I just don't know about Dubois. That's where it is for me. I really keep repeating myself, but I do know heavyweight boxing, and I do know Larry Holmes, and I do know Riddick Bowe, and I do know that when you're in the camp with those type of guys and you've been training, it may not look good in that last fight where, you know, you go into camp, you think, oh, I'm going to blow this guy over in a few rounds, and it ends up being a fight. It ends up being a real fight. You know, you could say that if you look at Trevor Bryan's career, he's had more adversity, and he's had guys throwing punches back at him all the time. So he's had to deal with that. Dubois has been the guy he's the front foot fighter. He's the guy who's been front foot, throw punches, guy falls over. Thank you very much, Barry. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? Lagos Cricket Academy. Yeah, so he's been the guy. Dubois has been the guy who's been throwing the punches and guys are falling over. Trevor Bryan's the guy who's had to work. Bryan is capable of causing an upset, especially if Dubois does not get off to a good start. I'm not sure Dubois is capable of coping with adversity. Stavern is washed offensive, but he's as durable as Arreola and Chisora, so no shame in going distance with him. Yeah. Stavern was, I told you all before the fight, Stavern was injured in that going into that fight. His shoulder was injured. I reported it to you, I think the day before the fight. So I knew he was going to the hospital for that shoulder. So, yeah. Stacey told me afterwards they were taking the time because they needed rounds. Do I believe Stacey? Well, some of me does, some of me doesn't. Don't know. I'm 50-50 about it. But they know. Like I've told Stacey already. I said, if your guy comes in shape and fights the way he fought against that last guy, Dubois going to blow your boy away. It is. So I'm not saying Dubois can't blow away. If he comes out with that rubbish, stands right in front of Dubois, stands right in front of him, doesn't put his hands up, doesn't catch and shoot, doesn't move his head, doesn't slip inside of Dubois and fight on the inside. You can stand in front of a guy and do work. Yeah, you can stand in front of a guy and do it. If he stands in front of Dubois, catches and shoots, all well and good. But if he stands in front of Dubois, look at him like looking for an autograph, he'll be put to sleep. And he'll be Trevor dreaming Bryan. So that's where I look at it. That's where I see it. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, smash the like button, you people. There's 18 people watching and 8 people like the video. Come on. You can do better than that. Change the subject for a moment. Thoughts on Lawrence Okolie heavyweight? I've always thought he'd be a good heavyweight. Always said he'd be a good heavyweight. I always thought he'd be a good... I think he'd actually be a better heavyweight than he's a cruiserweight. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I've always thought he'd make a better heavyweight there. But I said before, Lawrence Okolie reminds me very much of... what's the guy's name? Henry Akinwande. And I don't care what anyone tells me, he's the second coming of Henry Akinwande. Funny enough, they're both Nigerian as well. Henry Akinwande. You remember him? Look at the way Akinwande fights. Look at the way Okolie fights. Very similar. And Akinwande had a decent right hand. In fact, in the fight against Lewis, I'm sure he dropped Lewis in that fight, but they didn't score it as a knockdown. Him with right hand around the 5th round. I think so, 4th, 5th round. Or even earlier than that. So Akinwande, decent fighter, good heavyweight. Is there cruiserweight on Sky tonight? Bro, I don't know. All I know is Trevor Bryan's fighting tonight against Dubois. That's all I'm watching. So, right. I think I've done my bit. Load, as they say, and I will see you soon. Hope you've enjoyed this video from the car. If you do, I think I'll do some more videos in the car. So, yeah, you can, let me just turn this around for you people. Riakporhe, that's my boy. I like Richard Riakporhe. I like that boy. I like him. He could be a world champion himself, Riakporhe. Dangerous, Riakporhe. Riakporhe's dangerous. I'll tell you who else is dangerous. This guy, Isaac Chamberlain. He's going to be dangerous as well. But I don't know what's going on with his career at the moment. But I think he'll be dangerous. Riakporhe, you know Riakporhe's been on BWTM already, so you know what it is with that. Oh, is that on tonight? Damn, I got to watch that then. Fair enough. Riakporhe's fighting tonight. I got to watch that. It's a good fight, actually, so I got to watch that. Right, let me get out of here. Thank you all for watching. This has been BWTM Sports, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.